Hello, everybody on the Feel Well, Live Better face page book. Face page. I hope you're all well. Um, so I know it'll take a few minutes for some of you to join me live. Those of you who are watching the replay, remember to put hashtag replay in the comments. And as I go along, you can ask questions. It's going to be interactive. You can obviously put your comments in. Hi, whoever's watching, say hello. Hi, Kelly. Thank you for joining me live. So yeah, you can ask your questions as we go along. I'll do my best to go through the comments as we go. We'll ask you questions as well. And put your comments in as well. I'll go through several points and then we'll take it from there. Hi, Ivona. Thank you for joining me. Nice to see you. Whoever else is popping on, I see you guys are coming on slowly because I know Facebook will be filtering out and telling everybody that it's live, etc., etc. So say hello as you pop on. And again, those of you who are watching the replay, remember to put hashtag replay. Okay. So I'm going to get started because I'm not one for like, okay, let's wait till 100 people get on. No, you guys are here, so I'm going to get started. Now, excuse me, I am nursing a cold, which I have been nursing for the past, since last Tuesday. And I'll tell you why I've got this cold. Well, it was cold flu thingy. The previous week I had gone shopping and it was raining. And it was that type of weather where it was windy and raining, and I was carrying this heavy bag of soil and I couldn't put my umbrella up, so I got soaked in the rain. And then the following day I ended up being on a building site and it was dusty, and I think I'm allergic to like building dust because that happened last time we were getting our kitchen done, and it just brought me down. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of, so if you see me sneeze and blow my nose and stuff, it's not the big C as everybody's calling it now. It's just a normal cold flu thing that I'm getting over. I am shifting actually. So yeah. Anyway, okay. So make sure you got your notepads, your pens as well, because you might want to take notes. Obviously, this is being recorded as well, so it's great to go over the replay after I've finished. I'm hoping not to go longer than an hour. I've got my clock here. I've got my water in case I need it. And of course, I've got my trusty notes as well. And yeah, if you find it useful, please share this this video with those you know who are in a state of panic at this moment in time. We all know what's going on. Nobody's ever experienced anything like this on this earth, I don't think. The whole world is literally affected. But it's about how can we keep ourselves grounded so that we're not sort of flighty up, sort of hereish in anxiety, fear and panic with the rest of other people's energies as well. Because when we're collectively in a space which is quite negative and quite suppressive to ourselves and our immune system, we're no good to anybody, especially we're no good to ourselves. So I know part of my work in terms of being able to help people shift out of the what we call the fight, flight or freeze mode stress response and move into a parasympathetic rest, digest, calm, peaceful state. That's my work. That's the work I do. So I've been diddling and daddling whether to do a live or not, and because I had this cold for the past week as well, that was my main priority, was to nurse myself back to health. But the more that I was speaking with friends and family and just seeing the energies that were going on, and even for me, I just wanted to retreat off social media. I just was just getting, my wisdom was just speaking to me and saying, no, you've got to put the message out there. So that's why I'm doing the live today. So thank you, Ivona. Yeah, I'm feeling better. So who am I? For those of you who might be watching a replay, those of you coming on the live, and you don't know who I am, I'm Lillian Larty, and I'm a holistic health, wellness, well-being expert and personal development coach. I've been in the health, fitness, wellness industry for the past 20 years. just seems like yesterday when I qualified. And I'm qualified in a range of disciplines in terms of fitness, remedial massage therapy work, anything to do with well-being, wellness. I've taught a number of different classes, private clients, personal training, you name it, I've done it. I've worked in private clubs, I've worked in gyms, I've worked one-on-one with clients, I've worked in group classes, all sorts of things. When it comes to the personal development side, it's more about helping people to get out of their own way and to move forward in life. And I've kind of settled now in this area of stress, basically from my own personal experience with stress and where it's led me to, and how to help people shift out of that place. And as we know, a lot of people are highly stressed at the moment. So so that's my work. That's what I do. I tend to work one-to-one with people, and that's face-to-face or online as well. And I love it. I love what I do. So I live, breathe, eat everything. So today's subject is on rise above the fear, panic and noise, and live from a place of less stress, more calm and peace, which is what we all need. So before we get started, let's ground ourselves. So wherever you are, make yourself really comfortable. Oh, and let me show you my cushion. This is my trusty cushion, which I've had for years and years and years. I don't know if you can see it. Look, keep calm and chill out. And on the other side is the same, but in a different colour. My trusty cushion sits on the end of my bed normally. So that's what we need to do, is be keeping calm and then just chillax as much as we can. So feet firmly on the ground, your shoulders nice and relaxed, hands are relaxed down on your lap or on your side, wherever you are. And just take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your nose or through your mouth, whichever is comfortable for you. And as you breathe out, just allow everything just to drop. Your shoulders from your ears, allow the expression on your face as well just to drop and relax. And just allow your hands to be free. If you find that they're clenching or tight, just shake them out a little bit until they're a little bit loose and just feel nice and relaxed. And take another deep breath in. Nice deep breath through your nose and breathe out. Welcome those of you who are joining us. Hi Roy. Oh Roy, nice to see you here. Hi Maureen. And breathe out through your nose or through your mouth. And again, just allow everything to drop. All the weights, all the worries, anything that concerns you right now, just let it go. Just let it drop. There's nothing you can do about it anyway. And just relax. And one more time, take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out. Welcome those of you joining us. Hi Cedric, nice to see you here. Okay, so you should be relaxed now. Those of you joining us, we were just doing a little bit of grounding, just breathing in and breathing out and just getting ourselves in a nice, good place because, as I mentioned earlier, we all know what's happening. None of us, I believe, in our lifetime can vouch to say that we've ever experienced anything like this at all. And it's an experience for all of us. But the main thing is for us to be able to be in that center of peace and calm so that not only can we be able to help ourselves, but we'll be able to help others around us as well. Okay, so those of you who joined us, you might want to grab a pen, paper as well, make notes as we come along, as we go along. I will ask questions. You have an opportunity to ask questions and comment as well. So number one is how to take back your power over fear, panic and stress and become adaptive. Okay, I'll read that again. How to take back your power over fear, panic, stress and become adaptive. Now, what I've seen on some areas of social media, and there's different things going on and around. As we know, we're in a majority of people are in a fear-based position, what I call it survival mode. People are in survival mode at the moment. We've seen it on television, we've seen it in the news. I'm sure some of us may have witnessed it as we're out and about doing shopping, etc. And people are scared. Okay, nobody has the answers. Our government don't have the answers. The Queen doesn't have the answer. No one has the answers. Everybody is second guessing as to what to do. And when you're in survival mode, basically you're in fear mode. So what is fear? Basically, fear is, well, we can use the acronym false evidence appearing real. So it's things that we conjure up in our mind that we perceive as real. We see what the media is portraying to us. We see what has happened in other areas of the world where the virus has taken a hold of nations, and we're hearing about certain death tolls and things like that, and people are thinking, oh my goodness, that's going to happen to us. So they're anchoring in on that fear. When you're locked in that space of fear, you become paralyzed, and that is where your body's natural response goes into what we call the fight or flight or freeze mode. Now, some people are phasing in and out of those modes, but they're constantly in that position of stress mode at the moment, which I call the survival mode. So you're not thinking rationally, you're thinking irrationally. You're reacting to different things. You see something on the news and you react, you think it's real, even if it's in another part of the world. People are reacting to what's going on. You're here in the UK, but people are reacting to what's going on in the States, what's going on in Italy, what's going on in Spain, where they're experiencing a total lockdown. And thankfully, at the moment, for us here in the UK, we still have the freedom of going and coming. But then we see what's going on in the news, and then people portray, oh my goodness, if that's happening there, what's going to happen in my local area? I better go out and do something. But it's about getting yourself centered. It's easier said than done, but I will, as we go along, I will show you how to do that. Now, last weekend we saw on the news, what was happening in supermarkets, etc. And my mum went into a bit of a panic, and I said to her, well, listen, I said, at the end of the day, if we go to the shop which was on Monday, and we can't get A, B, and C, then we can't get A, B, and C. There's nothing we could do about it. And that's my prerogative. And I think because of the work that I've done on myself and just my experience, that I'm now of that position where if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And behold, when we went to the shop on Monday, we could get the toilet roll. The toilet roll was there. We could get most of our shopping. I mean, I think it was just one or two things we couldn't get, and it wasn't a death or life situation. So it's about putting things in perspective and seeing things of, okay, that's what it says on the news. I'm going to leave that there on the news. What is my reality as it is now? Well, I've got toilet roll here, I've got food here, I've got this, I've got that. And it's about taking it one step at a time. If we depend on what's being shown to us through the media, our minds are going to explode. I can see what's going to happen is that there's going to be a lot of people having a lot of mental breakdowns if they're not experiencing them already, because people can only take in so much. The human mind can only take in so much before it starts to break itself down if it believes that it can't survive. Our brain's job and our body's job is to keep us alive. And it is said that it is fear that actually kills people off more so than any sickness or disease that goes on in the world. Even if people are injected with the most lethal injection, we've seen people being able to defeat those lethal injections or certain situations with their mindset. But if you haven't got that perfect mindset for you to overcome that fear, the actual fear is what's going to paralyze you, which is what is actually going to bring on disease, which is actually what's going to create death, basically. Okay, I hope that makes sense so far. So I just anchoring in you must be thinking, Lynn, we're supposed to be talking about calm and less stress and peace, but you're speaking about fear. I'm speaking about fear because we need to face the reality of what fear is. And there's a lot of people on social media who are brushing aside the fear like the fear just doesn't exist. It exists, it's real. People are scared for their lives. And we need to realize where our level of fear is. Because when you know where your level of fear is, then you can begin to unravel it. You can't do anything about the fear unless you actually face it, unless you come face to face with it. And there are people who are trying to ignore the fear, pretend it's not there, busy themselves in survival mode. Now is not the time to be busy. Trust me, it's not. And pretend that the fear is not there, but the fear is there. So I hope that makes sense. And it is about the fear. Now, people are running from the fear of the unknown. They don't know what's going on. Nobody knows. We don't know. Okay. And that's why some people depend on looking at the news, seeing what's going on so that they can know, but nobody knows. It's just the same news going over and over and over. I personally I don't make a point of listening to the news, maybe once during the day so I get an idea, and that's just to inform myself of what's happening, but I don't make a point of listening to it on the hour, every hour. It would just be too much for me to manage. So face the fear so that we know how we can then best move on. So let me give you an example of how it's kind of a quickish example, but I give you an example of where I'm coming from so you get an idea. For those of you who don't know, in 2018, November 2018, I had a health crisis. It's the worst health illness crisis I've ever faced in my life. 1 minute I was feeling what I considered to be healthy and well. Next minute I'm checking myself into A&E. My heart is pounding like never before. It's beating very, very fast. I've got this massive headache. I feel dizzy. I feel light. I feel sick, nausea. I can hardly stand up, and I'm getting chest pains, and I don't know what's going on. So I check into A&E with a family member. They take my blood pressure. Normally my blood pressure is around 130 something, maybe over 80, 85, something like that. When I was in A&E, the first time they took my blood pressure, it was 190 over 90, I think it was. I was surprised. The nurse who admitted me was surprised. She was like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Have you been away? Have you been abroad? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, this is what's happening. Anyway, within an hour, I was able to see a doctor, and then they were just monitoring my blood pressure as they were going along. They were doing umpteen tests on me. They couldn't figure out what was happening, and the last count that they took my blood pressure before admitting me into a hospital bed, my blood pressure was 201 over 107. Yeah. And all the nurses could do with it, they were just looking at me like, their mouths were open, and doctors were like, let's find this lady a bed. Are you her relatives? You might want to go and get her some clothes because she's staying in the hospital. And I was scared. I was like, boy, what's going on? My heart is beating, my head is pounding, and I thought to myself, okay, what's the worst that can happen to me here? This is my train of thought. And I guess I got this train of thought since when my dad passed in 2016. And when my dad passed, I realized that we're not in control of anything. That was I believe that's the gift that my dad left me, was that we're not in control of anything. As much as I tried my best to nurse my dad back to health, he didn't, obviously, he passed on. And when you lose a close relative, you lose something that's really precious and loving to you, and you realize you're not in control, you start to appreciate life a bit more. And when you're close to losing your health as well, and you don't know what's going on, the doctors don't know what's going on, nobody has an answer for you. Even the top consultants who come to see you are asking you the same questions, and you're like, I don't know, you're the doctors, you tell me what's going on. You're like, what am I going to do? So I was like, okay, worst case scenario, I could have a stroke here because my blood pressure is extremely high. I could have a heart attack because my heart is really pounding. Okay, so I have a heart attack, I have a stroke, then what? Okay, either I survive or I don't. Okay. And that was my train of thought, basically, because I thought it's pointless me getting myself het up and stressed and in fear, because that's just going to make me feel worse. So that was my train of thought. And then I started to apply breathing exercises, and I just thought, well, someone's going to have the answer. So I'll just stay here, read my book. The doctors came one by one and doing tests. They were trying to diagnose me with this disease and that ailment, but I didn't have a full spectrum of a full ailment or a disease. They packed me off with some medication and said, okay, come back and see us in a week or whatever. Anyway, it turned out I had no iron in me as well. I was severely anemic. My thyroid was hyperactive, the highest they've ever seen, apparently. And there was a whole host of other things as well, which I can't even remember now. But thankfully, I'm in a much better place now. I'm off one of the medications now. I'm only on one left now. And my blood pressure is a little bit more stable. So I'm thankful for that. So that's my train of thought, is I'm a black or white person. You know, it's either this or it's that. And I believe that's what we've got to go into in what we're going into now. It's a case of, okay, so today is Sunday. What can I do today to keep myself safe and in a place of calm, rest, and peace? I'll say that again. What can I do today, on this day, or in this hour, or in this minute, to keep myself safe and in a place of calm, rest, and peace? Because that's all we're in control of, is this moment, is this present moment now. We're not in control of what's going on the television. We're not in control of what's going on in supermarkets. We're not in control of what's going on in another part of the world. We're not in control of what's going to happen tomorrow. We're just not. So if you can just take that little snippet and be in control of your present moment right now, I'm telling you, it's going to take you a long, 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 long way throughout this journey. However long it's going to last for, we don't know. But you need to be able to switch your mindset from that helter-skelter fear, oh my goodness, the world's going to hurt, to I'm in control. And I'm in control of now, I'm in control of here, I'm in control of my environment. I hope that makes sense. So the key is to locate your root, the root cause of your fear. Because for some people, what is happening is bringing up different memories of maybe something that's happened to them before. Perhaps they've been in a war-torn situation. Perhaps they've starved. They've never had food when they were younger. Perhaps they've been in a situation where they were left homeless and they don't want to go back there again. And this situation is bringing back those memories for them. So locate the root of the fear and unravel it. So to unravel, my question is always, what is the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? You go to the supermarket tomorrow, they've got no toilet roll. What's the worst that can happen? Like, we went to a supermarket, they didn't have no toilet roll. Okay, what can we do? Oh, okay, we'll use kitchen towels. You've got to learn to adapt. We're in a period now where we have to learn to adapt. You know, maybe you might need to use tissues and wrap it up in newspapers and chuck it in your bin or something. It's about adapting. And, you know, okay, maybe tomorrow, you know, you can't open your business. I know a lot of you guys who are watching and run your own business, you know, you do a lot of face-to-face stuff. What happens then? Okay, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, I have to stop my clients from coming to see me face to face. What's the alternative I can do? So it's thinking step by step by step and being in control of that minute, that next step. Again, I hope that makes sense. So how can we be adaptive? The way to be adaptive is to what I call do a stress hygiene. When we're stressed and when we're in fear, we absorb that into our bodies, okay? So number one is to slow down, breathe, and be still. Spend as much time as you can in stillness. Spend as much time as you can breathing. Spend as much time as you can slowing down. Like I said, now is not the time to be rushing and speeding up, because that puts you in survival mode. You want to be in parasympathetic mode, which is your rest, digest, parasympathetic mode, where you can think rationally, where you can be responsive rather than be reactive. Okay. Then you want to increase your sleep. The more sleep you have, the more energy you will have. So do what you can to have restful sleep. For some of you, you might need to play some soothing music before you go to bed. Make sure you do some stretching or some breathing to release the stress out of your body, particularly if you feel tense. Maybe you might need to have a warm bath, maybe something like an Epsom salt bath or Himalayan salt bath to help relax you. Do anything to help relax you before you go to sleep at night, because your sleep is precious. Even if you need to sleep during the day, have as much naps as you can. Then, if you need to, take some supplements. Supplements help us to adapt to the level of stress and fear that's going on around us. Now, when we're in a high stress alert state, your body will utilize and burn off a lot of vitamin B, a lot of vitamin C, and it will also burn off a lot of magnesium. So I would say those are the three you really want to be getting into your system on a daily basis, because it helps you to adapt. It helps your system to adapt as well. The more stressed you are, the more your body will start to release the cortisol, the adrenaline hormones, and those are the ones that your body utilizes the most of the nutrients. So it's important to keep topping up with them. And with vitamin C, for example, the body tends not to store it. So you need to be topping that up quite frequently. And you could get that not only just through supplements, but through a range of foods, which I'll go through in a minute later on. Releasing body stress, as I mentioned, you can do that through shaking your body. There's different ways of being able to release the body stress through stretching. Do it before bedtime as well. You might want to go for a walk, especially those of you who've got pets, you've got dogs, you could go out for a walk. That's a way of releasing your stress as well, just through movement. You could do it through meditation. You could do it through listening to music. Just make sure you don't harbour that stress, especially before you go to bed. Process your survival emotions. Now, survival emotions will range from anger through to fear, through to bitterness, through to resentment, through to envy, or that person got how many toilet rolls? Yeah. Through to different range of emotions. And they say that it's not until you're in a situation like we're in a situation now will your true character come out. So you might find yourself going through a range of emotions that you think, oh my goodness, why am I feeling this way? It's not like me. But be forgiving of yourself, okay? You've never been in this situation before. We've never been in a situation before. So just accommodate that and say, okay, this is interesting, and process that emotion. You might want to speak to someone about it. You might want to journal through it. You might want to process it some other how, but make sure you process those survival emotions. Then do breath work. Breath work is essential because it reoxygenates your body. When we're stressed, we tend to go insular. So the body changes because it's in that fight or flight or freeze mode. Some people are in freeze mode, okay? They're like this because they don't know what to do. They're just like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Some people are like, I'm ready to fight this virus thing. And some people are like, I'm ready to run and flee. But you want to be expansive. You want to make sure that you're upright most of the time because your lungs need to take in the oxygen, okay? Different types of breath work. There's nostril breathing, even though we're not allowed to touch our faces now, which is a bit weird, isn't it? So make sure you wash your hands, okay? And you could do alternate nose breathing, nostril breathing, where you have your thumb on one nostril, breathe out from one nostril, then change your ring finger, hold on to the other side of the nostril, breathe in, and breathe out through that nostril, and you change, you alternate the nostrils as you breathe in and breathe out. That's a great one for calming down your system and also de-stressing yourself as well. And there's one which we call box breath work, where you breathe in for 4. So pretend you've got like a box, obviously a square. So as you breathe in, you're ascending upwards. So you breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop at the top. And then you breathe out as you go across for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then breathe in again as you go down the box. And then breathe out as you go across the box, or vice versa. It doesn't matter how you breathe in, as long as you're breathing for 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. So it's like a box, yeah? And that's a great way of being able to reset your system and reoxygenate yourself. Then we also got the calming breath, where you breathe in for, say, 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and breathe out double the time. So you'll breathe out for 6 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the calming breath basically helps you to be in that parasympathetic mode. Okay, this is a great one. I do this all the time, especially when I'm in shopping queues and the queue is long or it's taking its time. I do that one. If I'm in the car as well and I'm driving, I tend to do that one, the calming breath, or I do the box breath. If I'm pausing before I then go on to do another task. So there are different types of breath work which you can do to help you reoxygenate. Okay. And then resetting your nervous system, which is what I spoke about, getting you out of the sympathetic survival mode into parasympathetic. And make sure you have a morning routine. Very important at this time, because rather than wake up in the morning and go first thing to your phone, okay, what does the news say? What's happening today? Has the world ended? Can I still get A, B, and C? Is my child going to school today? Are my clients coming in today? Or is my workplace open? Just set yourself up for some calm, okay? Say, okay, I'm awake, I'm alive, I can breathe, yay. You might want to start with some gratitude. Name 3 things you can be grateful for, okay? You might then want to follow that with some breathing. Do some breathing exercises to calm you. Then hydrate. You've been sleeping for maybe 6, 7, 8 hours. Hydrate yourself so that you're energized to face whatever is going to come your way, okay? And do this, definitely do these 3 things before leaving your bed. Waking up, getting out of bed, leaving your bedroom, okay? Because if you're not well equipped to face what's going to come to you, chances are it's just going to hit you. You're going to be feeling suppressed. And the main thing here is you need to be strong and you need to have that resilience to carry you through. Does anyone have any questions at this point? Any comments? We all with me? Let me see some love hearts, some thumbs. Whilst you're doing that, I'll have a sip of water. We all good? Great, I'm seeing some thumbs. Super. Okay, point number 2. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this live. If I'm longer than an hour and you need to go, listen, that's okay. You can catch the replay. But I'm going to go through this so that it's released and the message is out there. Okay, so number 2, prioritizing. Kelly says, love this. I need to get back to my morning routine. Yes, please do. Please do, Kelly. Number 2, prioritizing your health and well-being and your immune system. Also known as put on your own oxygen mask first. We've seen lots of people walking around now, haven't we, with the mask, and you know, people like, do we wear a mask, do we not wear a mask, and you know, what's the mask for, and is people using a mask properly, etc. I versus I agree, need to set up a morning routine. Yes, please do. It's really, really important. That's on the list as well, is the morning routine, is your oxygen mask, basically. Attend to yourself before you attend to anybody else. Because when people come with their energies, yeah, that's what's it's going to wear you down, and you can't afford at this time to be worn down. Hi, Emmeline. Thanks for joining. You cannot afford to be worn down. So, fear and stress, negative fear and stress will affect your mental, your emotional, and physical health and well-being. Okay. It suppresses the immune system. How does it suppress it? Well, basically, when you're on high alert, when you're in a stressful state, it wears down your system. I haven't got time to go into how stress really wears us down, but it uses a lot of biological functions in our body, which is what I was saying earlier. It utilizes a lot of nutrients from our system. So when I was in hospital in 2018, and I said to you, I had no iron in me, I didn't have any nutrients in me at all. Okay, simply because 2018 had been a stressful year for me. So throughout that time, all my nutrients had been used up. I hadn't been looking after my health properly, hadn't been eating properly either. So it's really important that our immune system is kept intact. Now, I'm going to talk about immunizing ourselves in two aspects. Firstly, immunitize your mind. First and foremost, immunitize your mind. Remember what I said earlier. It's your brain's job to keep you alive. Okay. And I said it wouldn't surprise me that, throughout what we're going through at this moment in time, if we see high cases of more mental health breakdowns, because a lot of people won't be able to cope with what's going on, because they haven't got the tools to be able to cope, which is part of the message why I'm putting this message out, that in the hope that people will grab a hold of this, they'll do what they can and keep their minds intact, because when your mind goes, then that's it. Basically it's game over, So immunitize your mind. How can you do that? Be selective of the news that you listen to. Remember, there's a lot of false news out there on social media, as well as even on our mainstream as well. We don't know what to believe. It's the same news going round and round. Do you really need to listen to the news on the hour, every hour? For me personally, I don't, because it's too much for me. Social media, again, you might want to be selective as to, maybe put filters on your social feed now, and what you watch and the number of videos that are being passed to you or go to you. And you might have to say to some people, listen, thanks for the videos that you're sending me, but I don't find them useful at this time. Can you not send them to me anymore, or etc.? Okay, be careful of what you're reading as well. Newspapers, some of the headlines on the newspapers. I mean, I remember last week, and I got my mum a newspaper. She was like, "Oh my goodness!" Whoa. I said, "Don't, don't worry." It was just the headline. Something like everyone in England was going to get the C virus, and I was just like, "Oh, typical." Go and scare people. And they had no proof. So be selective of what you're reading as well. Immunitize your mind by being around positive people. Okay, people who are upbeat, people who are seeing the positive out of this, because we can see we've got a choice. Either we see it as doom and gloom and like, oh my goodness, this is the worst ever, my life, whatever, my plans have all gone to the pot, and or we could say, okay, this is happening, this is an opportunity to do things differently. So you want to be around positive, upbeat people. Okay, play soothing music. If what's playing on the radio or the news, you've just had enough of it, you've had enough of the social media as well, put your phone to one side and just get yourself in a nice atmosphere in your home. Play some really soothing, calming music, because music has a really positive effect on our mind and on our immune system as well. Okay. And gratitude. Play what I call the gratitude game. There are different ways of playing the gratitude game. Someone said they play a gratitude game by going through the alphabet from A to Z. And someone said that they do this just before they go to bed. Hi, Alison. Thanks for joining. So they'll go, especially if they can't sleep, they'll lie on their bed and they'll say, okay, letter A. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I've got apples in the fridge. I'm grateful that I've got air to breathe. Okay. What else am I grateful for? B. I'm grateful that I'm lying in bed, that type of thing. And that's something, if you've got children, that's a great game to play as well. Okay. And she said that she would do this until she fell asleep. And normally she wouldn't get to Z. So, and then also play like positive affirmations or something really positive at night if you're finding it trouble sleeping, a positive CD perhaps that your subconscious can be receiving as you're sleeping. Okay, because when we're sleeping, our mind is processing a lot of things, and people have been telling me they've been sleeping, they've been having nightmares. Some people are having bad dreams because of what they've seen on television and what's going on, and this can add to the stress in the body as well. So you're waking up, you're not sleeping properly, you're waking up feeling groggy and not refreshed. So see if you can grab hold of some positive CDs or play nice music when you go to bed, and so that your subconscious mind is feeding on something positive as you're sleeping. All right, so that's just a few ways to immunitize your mind. Okay, now immunitizing your body itself. Now your immune system is resided in your gut, in your digestive system. 90% of it is in your digestive system. So that means if it's residing in your gut, that our number one key is to look after our gut health. Okay, gut health is vitally important for all aspects of our body, but definitely for your immune system. So before you go out and start getting your probiotics, first of all, I say to people is look at what you're taking in nutritionally. You want your fresh fruit and veg, green veg. You want to be keeping yourself hydrated with water, coconut water, nice herbal teas, spring water, those type of things, nuts, legumes, seeds, everything that is natural as much as possible. Okay, cut back on processed foods as much as you can, and definitely sugars, because those are the foods like biscuits, cakes and blah, you know, unless they're healthy ones and you've made them yourself, those are ones that can wear down our gut and our immune system. And you need, like I said, you need to be strong at this time. Okay, also exercise, movement. If you're used to going to the gym and for some reason your gym is closed down or they've limited the hours for now, see what you can do at home. Be adaptive. Do some exercise routines at home. Go for a walk. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to get out more and go for a walk. Maybe if you've got an old bicycle at home, start to use that. If you've got rollerblades at home, use those. Anything. Become adaptive and move. It doesn't mean you have to go wild and, you know, do extreme exercise if you're not used to it. I've got a rebounder. I've got my rebounder out and I'll do 5-10 minutes on that. That's enough for me to get on with. So something that will get you moving, even if it's standing in the kitchen whilst you've got your kettle boiling and you're doing some squats. That's exercise, that's movement, okay? Because by exercising and doing the movement, gets the circulation going and it keeps your body afresh as well. It also helps to move the stress and the fear out of the body as well, okay? Meditation and breathwork. Breathwork I mentioned earlier. Meditation is an essential key, especially for looking after yourself and keeping you in that calm, restful state. And it's also known, through research, it's also known to help with your immune system, to keep your immune system healthy. If you haven't got a meditation practice, don't worry, you don't have to go off now and everybody becomes a meditator because of what's going on. If meditation is not for you, don't worry about it. But for me, I picked this up when I knew when I came out of hospital, I needed to get myself out of a stressful state and into a calm place. I follow a technique called Ziva technique, Z-I-V-A, and it's run by a lady called Emily Fletcher. And she herself had been in a stressful state. She'd had some type of a breakdown. And she came across this meditation and she actually adapted it for people who live in urban settings, basically, so that, you know, we're not doing some type of monk style meditation, but it's more for people, everyday people, where you can just meditate twice a day for 15 minutes and you just focus on your breathing, focus on a mantra, and that's it. So if you're not into meditation, you can simply just spend 5 minutes just focusing on your breathing. And that's it. You can do it sitting in a quiet space or in amongst noise. You don't have to be in a quiet space in order to meditate. It's just where you're focusing your attention. Okay, so that's a bit about meditation. And I've mentioned about your nervous system. The more you are in sympathetic mode, which is the fight, flight, or freeze mode, stress response, the more you're suppressing your immune system. Okay, so the more you're in survival mode, the more you're panicking, the more you're thinking, know that your immune system is like suppressed down. This is because when your body suspects that whatever you're thinking about, you're perceiving is a danger in front of you. Okay, so for example, you're watching the news, you rouse up, you become stressed. Your mind kicks in and says, this person, there's a threat in front of her, so let's kick off the stress response. She's either going to fight this thing, she's going to flee from it, or she's going to freeze. So your body basically needs to keep you alive. So what's it going to do? It's going to start to shut down sections of your body that it doesn't need in order for you to fight, flee, or freeze. Your immune system is one of those things. Your body doesn't need it in order for you to fight, flee, or freeze. Okay? You need the strength where? In your muscles. So all the blood, all the nutrients, everything goes towards your muscles, in your arms, in your legs, and in your heart. Predominantly, you'll find that your heartbeat starts to race because your body needs to move you away from the danger or to deal with that danger. The danger is when we're in that stress response mode constantly all the time. It's as if your foot is being pressed down on the accelerator in a car and that car is not moving. And it's just constantly pumping out the fumes, all right? And that is what basically happens. So your immune system slowly starts to get suppressed, squashed down. And that is why when we're in a stress state or you've worked really hard and then you go on holiday and you relax, that's when people start to realize they get flus, they get colds coming out, they start to feel ill or unwell, or their hair starts to drop out, and all sorts of things. That for us women, our periods may come unexpectedly, or we become infertile, and all sorts of things. So that is how your body reacts. Okay, so this is why it's essential that we need to be in that state of parasympathetic mode, which is our other auto nervous system, so that the immune system is flourishing. Okay, so activate your breath work, which I mentioned before. Focus on your elevated emotions of joy, love, peace, calm. Being present is going to do that. You cannot focus on being joyful and happy and peaceful if you're in survival mode. You're in survival mode when your mind is thinking in the future. What's going to happen tomorrow? Am I going to be alive tomorrow? Am I going to get the C virus? What's happening down the road? What's happening with this? That's your mind being in the future, and then it takes you in survival mode. If you're thinking of stuff in the past, it's likely to bring you down and you feel depressed, like, oh my goodness, I knew I should have picked up that sanitizer. Oh, I knew I should have bought that extra toilet roll or whatever. Okay, that is all suppressing your immune system. So come into the present, think of the now, think right now, right this minute now. When you're in the present and you're thinking right now, there's nothing to think about. And that's one exercise I'm going to give you guys for your homework. There's nothing to think about. When you're thinking in the now, in the present, that is where you are in that calm, peaceful, restful state. If you find it difficult with your mind and you just think, oh, but how can I do it? My mind's all over the place. Focus on the breath. Simply focus on breathing in, breathing out. And when you're going about your day or your evening and you find that your mind does drift to what's going to happen tomorrow, oh, I've got 100 of things to do, come back to the breath. Start to breathe. Make sure you're breathing and then bring yourself back into the present. Oh, yeah, my mind's just trying to survive. Okay, thank you, mind. Yeah, don't worry, I've got everything in control. Sometimes you need to speak to yourself. Sometimes you need to speak. I did in the earlier years. I had to keep speaking to myself until I got into the mode of being present. And I was like, okay, yeah, thank you, brain. I know you're trying to keep me alive, but we don't need to think about tomorrow. We're in the present now. So everything is fine as it is now. I've got everything that I need. I hope that makes sense. All good stuff. Ivona says, thank you. Okay. And laughter. Laughter, 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 laughter. Ladies and gentlemen, find something you can laugh about. Again, research has shown that the more we laugh, the more it creates those lovely, wonderful hormones, those endorphins and the serotonins and the dopamines and all the lovely hormones that we require to keep us alive and happy. And it boosts our immune system. I mean, now recently I've started, people have been sending me funny videos now, different things that people are joking about, the C virus and all of that, hiding toilet rolls in safes and things like that, and when you laugh, you find that you just feel uplifted. So find something that you can laugh about. If you've got old videos or DVDs or, a comical station that you can go on and laugh, because laughter is medicine. Okay. And it's the only thing that's going to carry us through this. Either you're going to laugh or you're going to cry. So, and excuse me, and I refuse to cry. I'm going to laugh. Alison says the breath is everything right now. It sure is. Definitely it is. Ivone says, had a few laughs today, so refreshing. Exactly. So let's look for something to laugh about each day. So not only do your gratitude, but look for something to laugh about as well. Okay. So that's point 2. I've got 2 more points to go. I don't know how long we'll be going for, but like I said, I don't know. If you need to go at some point, please do so, and then you could catch the replay. But I'm here to get the message out, and let's all help each other and be strong through this interesting time. I'm just going to take a sip of water. So, point 3, protect your energy. Remain in a place of less stress, more calm and peace. So, to be in a place of less stress, more calm and peace is a choice. It is a choice. We can go tomorrow and be wherever it is that we need to go to, and we have a choice. Either we're going to be angry and annoyed, which is just going to hurt us at the end of the day, or we can say, okay, c'est la vie. Okay, I'm going to do what I can in my power. I'm going to stay relaxed. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to chill. I'm going to put some nice music on, or I'm going to find something to laugh about, and I'm going to be on my way. Okay, it's a choice. How we start our day is how our day is going to progress. We're only in control of what we're in control of. So, which is why I was emphasizing earlier, put your own oxygen mask on first, which is get yourself set up for your day in the morning. Please, if you haven't got a morning routine, it doesn't have to be a long-winded morning routine, even if it's 5 minutes to get yourself ready. Like I said, wake up in the morning, gratitude. What am I grateful for? I'm awake, I can breathe, I can see, I'm in bed, I've got my heating, etc. Hydrate yourself. Make sure you've got some water by your bedside, lemon and water, or just plain water. And then maybe do some stretches and maybe do some journaling if you need to do some journaling. If you find that your mind then starts to race, do what I call a worry dump. Have some paper by your side, have a pen, just start writing out any concerns that you've got. Just write it out until you feel free in your mind, and before you leave your bedroom, preferably. Okay, and those of you who've got children and your children come busting into your bedroom, start to teach them these type of things as well, because it will be great for them, because no doubt they've got some level of anxiety or feeling a bit unsettled as well, and not knowing what to do, and they're looking to you for the answers and you don't know, and so teach them as well what you're doing, so everybody will be on the same key level. Like I said, live a life of slow and stillness. Now is not the time to be speeding up and hurrying. Trust me, it is not. There's nothing to hurry for, As I said, I shared earlier, when we went shopping last week, and, my mum thought, oh my goodness, we're going to get to shop and nothing's going to be there. And I said, well, look, If we get there, worst case scenario is we get there and what we want is not there. What can we do? We're just going to have to adapt. You know? And I just took my time. And by the time I got there, I was calm and I could see people who were coming out of their cars and they were rushing and running around. And I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And then people were dropping things. And it was just like they were just in this panic. And when you're in that frenzy and in that energy, it does you no good. Number one, it suppresses your immune system. Number two, you think irrationally. You can't think clearly. And number three, you're going to be upsetting other people as well, which is, people don't need that right now. So now is the time to slow down and be still. Slow down and be still in terms of even at home, okay? Maybe for some of you, your work schedule has now changed. For a majority of us, it's changed. So it's a chance for us to sit back and be in that mode of stillness and really think about your life, okay? Maybe you haven't had a chance and an opportunity to think about your life. Yes, that's right, Ivona, pace, not race. And maybe now's the opportunity and start to make plans like for today, not like, 5 months ahead because we don't know what's happening. But now it's like, okay, am I really living the life that I really want to live? What have I been doing up until this time? For some people, I've already heard it. Some people are like, boy, you know what? I'm relieved that I don't have to go to work. I'm relieved I don't have to commute into London anymore. I'm relieved that I don't have to do this, do that. And it's got them thinking, okay, so if I'm relieved, what does that tell me? I've been living a life that I haven't really loved. And for a lot of people in the world today, that has been the case. Some people believe that all that's going on has been a shake-up for everybody to have the opportunity to really closely think about, are you living aligned to your purpose? Okay. A majority of us here are women on this call today. Hi guys, I know you're on here, men. But women, it's an opportunity for us to be 100% in our feminine. Feminine energy is where we're in that space of receiving, okay? Masculine energy is in that arena of where we're pushing, hurrying, doing, creating, structuring, etc. We don't really need to be in that energy. We just need to be receiving right now. And like I said, that is what's going to help us prioritize our health and our well-being and our immune system, and also protect our energy. I've mentioned before, practice being present. Utilize this time, this space to connect within, to connect with your loved ones as well. People that you haven't had the opportunity to spend ample time with. Phone them up, see what's going on. Those in your house, maybe there's people in your house that you don't really spend time speaking to. Now's the time, you're sitting there, you're like, oh, okay, what should we speak about? Maybe play some games as well, dig out the jigsaw puzzles or the old Connect Fours or the Scrabbles and play those games. And, I think good things are going to come out of this. I really, really feel that good things are going to come out of this. But we need to be open-minded about it as well. So let's make the most of this, because, when we all get back to work and busy lifestyles, people are going to be like, you know what, things are going to change. Get out to nature if you can as well. For those of us here in the UK and we're still able to get out and about, if you can, get out in the nature. Get out when the sun is out. Today hasn't been such a great day, but do your best to get out in daylight. If you've become isolated or you've had to self-contain yourself, but you've got a garden or a balcony, see if you can get out. Open the windows, get some fresh air. The daylight feeds our immune system. The daylight feeds our energy. The sun is even better. So I believe I looked at the weather report and I think tomorrow's going to be nice and sunny. Yay. Well, here it is in London. Not sure where else in the country, but do your best to get outdoors, connect with nature as well. Yeah, I've mentioned about setting up your day. Right, as well as having a morning routine, have a nighttime routine. There's a lot of emphasis about having a morning routine. It's really essential to have a nighttime routine as well. Before you go to bed, you might want to set the ambience in your bedroom, even before you settle down into your bed. Maybe if you've got a lamp, low lighting, maybe around your house as the time gets on, turn the lighting down a little bit, maybe turn the television down a little bit, lessen the brightening, turn off social media or turn it on to night mode at least if you still need to be on social media for whatever reason. Put your phone on airplane mode if you don't want to take any more calls at a certain time, and then maybe have a nice warm bath or whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself into a nighttime routine to be in a calm state. Maybe hydrate a little bit before you go to bed. Make sure you've got your water and things like that set up for you for the morning, and maybe do some stretching. Check into your body. Have you got any tension anywhere in your body? How do you feel? Ask yourself, how do I feel before I go to sleep? Okay, how am I feeling? Am I worried about anything? Is there anything I need to remember? Write it down. You might want to have paper, pen, journal by your bedside as well. Because sometimes you could be lying in bed and you remember something. Think, oh yeah, I must do that tomorrow. Oh, I'll try and remember. No, write it down so your mind is nice and free before you go to sleep. So what I do is I do a stretch before I go to bed. I play some music. There's a range of instrumental, quiet music melodies that I play from my phone that I've collated from YouTube. And as I'm stretching, I just play those. I do my breathing exercises, and then I do my meditation. I do my prayers before I sleep, and maybe do some reading. If I'm still feeling sort of wired, then I do some reading to lull me into sleep. But I always low level my lighting before I go to bed. So a nighttime routine is really essential. Affirmations. What are you going to be saying to yourself? Some of the affirmations here that I've written down are: I am safe. I am healthy. I am loved. I am fully catered for. I am fully supplied. I am calm. I am at peace. Maybe there are some others that you might know of, or you might want to say to yourself, especially if you're going to go out and buy your supplies, rather than think, oh my goodness, by the time I get there, they're going to have it? Are they not going to have it? You might want to affirm, I'm fully supplied. I'm fully catered for. I have everything I need. Yeah, that type of thing as you're going along. And use essential oils as well. Essential oils. Oh, the power of essential oils. These are really medicinal, and I don't have my ones to hand. I did have one, but I think they're in the other room. I use essential oils. I've got a aroma vaporizer thingy, and it's all the way over there, but I'm not going to get up and get it. It's like a fan thing, and it's got a sponge at the bottom, and you just do droplets of little essential oils in there, and you screw it back on, and then you turn it on, and then it just vaporizes. It just lets the air out into the room, and that's really great, especially if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling nervy. Maybe you've got sniffles or colds coming on. You can use oils like eucalyptus, peppermint, sage is a good one. Tea tree oil is excellent. It's an antiseptic. Lavender is great. It's a relaxation as well as an antiseptic essential oil as well. Eucalyptus is one of the top ones for if you've got sniffles or colds or flus, and basically just cleaning the whole atmosphere, Other oils you might want to consider is clove. Clove is one of my favourite ones, which I'm using a lot at the moment. I tend to dab that on, so you can use it in a aroma vaporizer, or you could do it on your pressure points, so like your wrist points. I tend to do that before I go to bed. Around here, you could do it around your temples here. Be careful, make sure you dilute the oil. Don't use the essential oil straight or neat. Dilute it in some carrier oil, like maybe some olive oil if you've got some at home, or some avocado oil, any type of oil. You can use vegetable oil, and just you want 3 to 5 drops for every 10 ml of carrier oil that you use. Okay, so 10 ml of carrier oil, so that's your olive oil, avocado oil, or vegetable oil base. And then you'll use your essential oil about 3 to 5 drops. If you've never used essential oils before, start with 3. And if you don't know what you're doing, then speak to someone like myself or someone who's qualified in aromatherapy or essential oils. Okay, So the oils I mentioned again, clove is great, eucalyptus, tea tree, rosemary, lemon, sage, peppermint, lavender. These are all what I call balancing, antiseptic, calming, sort of grounding oils, you know. Don't all use them at the same time. Otherwise, you'll be like, okay, and you'll be totally, you know, you'll be totally laid back, okay? Maybe you just want to start with one or two to mix and then vaporize them around your home, but they are great. They're really good. And like I said, dab them on your pressure points, or you can use them in the diffuser, or you can even put them on a tissue as well. If you're out and about especially, you might want to put them on a tissue and just sniff them around, you know. If you don't want to use a mask, you can just go like this in a supermarket. Your eucalyptus oil on stuff, tea tree on your tissues. Anyway, that's me. Any questions? Any questions, anybody? Before I move on to my last point. I hope you're finding it useful so far. Okay, I think we are all good to go. Okay, so last point. So let me just reiterate on the points, especially for those of you who've joined us halfway through. So number one is take back your power over fear, panic, stress, and become adaptive. Okay. Number two is prioritize your health, well-being, and immune system. And that's basically put your oxygen on first before you attend to anybody and anything else. Number three is protect your energy. Remain in a place of less stress, more calm and peace. And then lastly is stay resilient, steady, strong, and level-headed. Okay. Now, firstly, to do this, you need to know who you are, what you believe in, and what you stand for. It's times like this that reveals our true character. And as I mentioned before, you might find that certain emotions come up in you that you think, I don't normally think that way, or I never normally react that way, and why am I thinking this way? And you know, try not to be harsh with yourself. Be forgiving of yourself. We've never been in this situation before, and it's a new experience for everybody. So be kind to yourself, but know what you stand for. Stick with your morals. Okay, we're hearing different things of people buying, you know, apparently some guy has bought 1,000 toilet rolls and he's got a room full of toilet rolls or something. I don't know. I never watched it on the news, but this is what I've heard. You know, and people are abusing and all sorts of things on social media. Stick with your morals and know who you are and what you stand for, because if you don't know what you stand for, you will fall for anything. And you can easily be dragged into aimless, worthless arguments on social media, and it's not worth it. At the end of the day, you know, you're going to look back and you think, you know, was that really worth it? Was that really me? Did I really need to act that way? You know, you might go out, and I know I keep using supermarket as an example, but you know, most of us are going to be going out and doing our weekly shop and stuff. And, you know, maybe you get there and somebody, you know, grabs the toilet roll before you have it, or the last water or something. And, you know, you just think, you know what, maybe they need it more than I need it. We've just got to be forgiving of one another and stick with our morals, rather than be in that position of, you know, this is my right, and nobody has a right to anything. Like I mentioned before, we're not in control of anything at all. The supermarkets can close tomorrow, can have a total lockdown and choose not to open. Then what we're going to do? So let's understand who we are, what we stand for, and what we believe in. And that's what's going to help keep you resilient. The next point is, don't mentally isolate yourself. We can get to a point where it becomes, like I said, it can become too much. Social media, the news, the headlines, seeing people on the street, whatever. And then we just say, you know what, I give up. I'm just locking myself away and I'm going to become a hermit. And when it's all over, then I'll come out. It's not healthy. It really isn't healthy. So surround yourself with a group of positive people, online positive communities. There are online communities that are being set up where people are supporting one another and being positive of one another. Phone people up now, if you can and you still can get out and about and you can meet up in groups still, stay with those groups for as long as it's safe enough for you to keep going out to those groups, unless it becomes unsafe. But definitely start looking for things online communities that you can become a part of as well, and look out for one another with your families as well, your neighbors, neighborhoods, that type of thing, and reach out for help. No person is an island in this situation. We all need to be able to help one another, no matter how small, no matter how strong you think you are. We all need help. Okay. And then deal with the irrational fears and the thoughts that come up for you. Like I mentioned, the survival emotions, and align to your elevated emotions. Each day, it might be that you need to do it each minute. It might be that you need to do it every hour. Maybe, when you're in the bath and you think, oh, this is relaxing. And then a thought comes in your mind. You think, oh my goodness, where did that come from? Just say, okay, that's interesting. Brain, you're trying to keep me alive and to survive. We're okay. We've got everything that we need. So keep talking to yourself. Keep reassuring yourself that everything is okay. And develop a strong, resilient body from the points that I've mentioned before. Eating nutritionally well, getting lots of sleep, hydrating, exercise and move. Even if you're at home and you're in lockdown, make sure you're moving around the place, and socialize as much as you can online with people, offline if you can, and it's safe to do so. And focus on one thing you can do each day. This is a biggie, because you can get into the mode of, right, I need to order this, I need to order the cat food, I need to order dog food, I need to cancel this, and I need to cancel that, and it could become so much that you just think, how am I going to cope with this? So what I've personally started to do is, as well as keep a list, I'll always write things down, that's just me. But what I do is I allocate things each day in my diary now. So, and I allocate normally between 1 to 3 things each day, especially if they're major things. So 3 is the maximum I'll be able to cope with, manage with. Maybe for you, it might be 5 or more, but just spread them out throughout your week. Maybe it's not urgent for today. Maybe you can tackle something on Thursday or Friday. Just take it step by step, day by day, because that will keep you in a calm, less stress, restful place. Sometimes someone might come and say, well, I need it now. This is urgent. Their urgency doesn't make it your urgency. I'll say that again. Someone else's urgency doesn't make it your urgency. What someone else's priority is may not be your priority. Especially if it's not your priority, don't make it your priority, because that will just add stress to your plate. Okay? Take things one step at a time. If someone is needing your help, ask yourself, am I in a position to be able to help this person? Maybe, again, you need to make sure you've got your oxygen mask on first before you can then help the other person. If you haven't got your oxygen mask on and you know that you're frazzled, and you know that the last thing you need is this one or this task and that person and this person, where's that going to leave you? Yeah? Okay. And that's it. Yes, I've got through the points. Any questions, any comments? Anyone want to say anything? Any takeaways? What takeaways have you taken? What one thing will you get started on today? Or what one thing stands out for you that needs attention? I'll give you a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds. I think there might be a delay on some people's ends. And so what one thing could you take away and start doing now? Or what one question? You're welcome, Ivona. You're welcome, Kelly. Good. I'm glad it was helpful and valuable. It's a lot there. Ivona says, focus on my night routine. Great. Good. Anyone else? Any one thing that you will be able to take away? What's your takeaway? What's your highlight from? Maybe you might think, oh, I need to go through it again, Lillian, and think. But just start with one thing. Just one thing. And that is how your day, your moment, your life over these next few days, weeks, even might be months, is going to pan out. It's just literally just putting one foot in front of the other. Kelly says, I'm going to get back to my morning routine and spread tasks out over the week. Yeah, great. Check out essential oils too. Yes, definitely. Essential oils for me is a godsend to me. It's a safe haven. Yeah, it's really medicinal. I've always says always stay present. Yes, that's definitely key, is to stay present, because when the mind starts to drift to the future and things appearing real that are false, that's when we're just going to end up in survival mode and suppress the immune system. We need to be healthy. We need to be expanded. We need to be in that mode of health and well-being. And more laughter, of course, says Ivona. Yes, definitely. More laughter. Laughter is medicine. Okay, so before I go, you're right. So those of you watching the replay, remember to put hashtag replay. Any questions you've got, pop it in the comments. Those of you who are maybe thinking, oh my goodness, this is great, but Lena, I'm still in survival mode. I still feel frazzled. I still feel anxious and fearful and stressful. And you want to be able to work deeper on this, you want to be able to have a chat with me about it, or you want some work done, then send me a private message. I do certain sessions where I can help you to unravel the fear and the stress. We'll go through your health and well-being and your immunity protocols as well. So making sure that you're on the right immunity protocols, align you to your so that you're resilient and you're in a place of calm, peace and rest, and also that you're just centered and grounded a majority of the time. So I do either single sessions, or I do sessions of 3, sessions of 5. But if you're interested or you want some help, then send me a private message and I'll get back to you. I might not do it today, most probably be from tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, so currently I have a few spaces open for that. So if you're interested, do let me know. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining. Well done for sharing over an hour of pure goodness. Okay. Sorry guys, yeah. Well, I just needed to get it out. I said I'm just going to take my time in getting this message out, and I did. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching the replay as well. Obviously, if you can't listen to the whole length of it, just take it bit by bit. And go through the replay again. Share it if you find it useful. Share it with those who you know will benefit from it as well. And let's all keep safe and keep supporting one another. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Ivona. Thank you, everyone who's come on. Maureen, I saw. Cedric, I saw. Roy, I saw. Emmeline, I saw come on as well. Alison, I saw. Everybody who came on and joined us today. Thank you so much. And I will catch you soon. I'll most probably do another live, I'm sure. I don't know when. It might be impromptu. It might be scheduled. But yeah, let's keep each other going and keep it in that place of less stress, more calm, peace and rest. All right. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.